Week 2 results and standings, Week 2 top performers, and a look at Week 3 qualifier matchups. Episode 2 of the CDL series starts now.
Specifically, more's there. In order to play smarter, you should be more scared. Check the odds before dice have been rolled. Cause this is war if there's a price that I'm sold. Stay frosty cause I'll be awfully quick to ice you, I'm cold. And then I'll light up a cigar. You like to get smoked? Oh, I'll serve you any kind of cocktail you want, but mainly Molotov. Toss it back and drop like a shot. You might have had one too many, so no wonder I'm hot. I'm better dressed for the occasion, you don't cover a lot. So when you're all gillied up and think you're ready to go, you'll probably be dead before you even get to be prone. Clickety click, and just like a lullaby, you've been lulled by this rhythm of hit markers, and it never gets old. If you're looking for a fight, you can put me in your sights. So you wanna go to war, don't ever come alone. If you're looking for a fight, gonna put you in my sights. Cause every time I lock and load, feels like coming home.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 2 of the CDL series brought to you by the Two Dudes Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Freak.
And I'm Babs. Another week in the books.
Let's get into it, Babs. We've got week 2 done and dusted. Let's go ahead and look at our top performers from week 2. We've got 3 members, well, 2 of the same members from Los Angeles Gorillas, and then another from the Gorillas, and then 2 players from Optic, and then 1 player from the Heretics. We've got Dashy with a 2.3 KD in hardpoint, 21 non-traded kills, and hardpoint time was 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah,
With the
Dash
final
was-
score being 250 to 129 against the Carolina Royal Ravens.
Yeah, I believe didn't Dashy set an overall KD record in that series? I think he did.
I'm not sure. There was a lot of records that were broke week 2.
I'm pretty sure Dashy broke a KD record.
It was a very very solid performance, of course, out of Optic throughout the entire week. I believe that was day 1 when y'all played the Ravens, and then y'all didn't play until day 3 again, I believe. So following Dashy, you've got Fame. He had a 13 and 6 KD. 10. His highest kill streak was 10. And he had 4 first bloods. This was a search and destroy with a 6-5 win over the LA Thieves.
Okay, Dashy did break the highest KD
He did?
CDL record, yeah, against the Ravens.
Cool deal.
I thought so.
Another top performer for Optic. Different game mode. It was still day 1. It was against the Ravens as well. He had an overall KD, or I think that's his KD, was 2.7. Non-traded kills was 21, and his total damage was 3950, and that was a control that y'all swept the Ravens in.
Mm-hmm.
Pred's looking really good.
They're all looking good together, honestly. But yeah, Pred was. They're starting. It looks like they're starting to click.
Yeah. They handled business against the Ravens.
Yeah.
We'll get into the Ravens a little bit further when we talk about the standings. But moving forward, we've got Fame again. This was one of the records that was broken on day 3. He had a 40 to 32 KD, 26 non-traded kills, and his time in the hill was 109. This game did not go to 250. It ended with the time limit running out. Final score was LA Gorillas winning 226 to 182 against the Los Angeles Thieves.
You know what? Fame is. I was worried
Their
about
first
Fame.
two-
I didn't know if he'd do good this year. But
Week 1, the Gorillas were questionable.
Yeah.
Very.
But Fame was looking pretty decent this weekend.
I mean, they didn't do. Yeah, Fame, I would say, has looked the best out of that whole team.
Diamondcon's looking really good too.
Yeah,
Fame seems
Diamondcon
more
has-
consistent.
Has been coming along at least the last game when they played the Thieves, because they didn't win their matchup day 1
No. But
or
they
day
were-
2. I
they
can't
were-
remember when they played, but they
they're another
won their
team,
matchup against the Thieves.
Like we said, it's going to take these teams a few weeks before we can get into who is who. But
Right.
It's good to see. I mean, there's a couple teams that you're like, what the fuck are they still doing in the
Hmm.
league? But like, for
There's
the most
probably
part,
one team that we're probably for sure is going to be terrible this year. We won't get into that. We'll get into that in our next scene here. Journey is our next top performer. This was against the Minnesota Rocker. It was a hard point. 40 and 30 KD, 29 non-traded kills, and his total damage was 67-41 in a 250 to 217 win.
damn,
Bro, the Miami Heretics,
they're just something.
they're the team to
different
beat.
right now.
They're already the team to beat,
Yeah.
and this is their first year in the league.
I'm really hoping that it does transition into land and they're not just an online team.
Right.
I really do hope that, because if they can perform at land too, oh boy,
Yeah.
We're gonna have some good lands.
Mm-hmm. And the last top performer, breaking the record by the largest margin. Diamond Khan of the Los Angeles Guerrillas, same game, hardpoint, same team, LA Thieves, 40 to 27 KD, 28 non-traded kills, 67-54 total damage.
I watched that match.
That is insane.
I watched that match. That man was going insane, bro.
Hey, so for the new listeners out there that we have, you're probably wondering, like, how is that insane to have these kind of numbers? People are getting these kind of numbers all the time. You don't see these numbers in a professional matchup. These are all professionals. You don't.
These
The
weren't
average
pub lobbies.
KD, the average KD in a professional league is under 1.
Yeah.
The average KD for a pro is
Top
under
players
1.
are top players are 1.1, 1.2.
Yes.
So to
So
have
that will let you guys know the type of competition that they're going against. And granted, a lot of people watch all different forms of Call of Duty. Do not get their multiplayer and their Warzone KDs mixed up.
Yeah, two different things.
Two completely different things. Because you can have somebody have a 7.0 KD in Warzone and try to play in a professional tournament and get stomped with a 0.5 KD. So
Yeah, no, he was.
You don't see these performances often.
That Diamond Con, like his kills were so good because he was getting kills where, like,
Where you shouldn't.
Like they were, like nobody even knew he was there. He was coming up behind him, getting 2 pieces, 3 pieces.
Like,
it was crazy, bro.
The thieves had no answer.
Nah,
None.
There was no answer for him. He was just going nuts.
Like the only close matchup that they had was their search match, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was week 2's top performers. Like I said, it's kind of congested with a lot of the same players. There's really only 3 different teams that are represented here, but it's still early in the season, so we'll see what it looks like going into week 3. All right, now week 2 qualifiers. We'll start off with week 3. We'll talk about how they went, but we're going to start off with how it ended, or with the rankings right now. The Heretics right now are still on the top. They moved up actually 3 spots from number 3 to 1. The Heretics are now the top team. FaZe dropped down to number 2. You've got the Subliners that are in 3rd. Optic move up 2 spots to 4th. Then you've got Toronto that stayed at 5. The Surge dropped a few spots to 6. You've got the Guerrillas that jumped a lot to 7. The Breach that jumped up 1 spot to 8. And you've got the bottom 4 teams that the season ended now. They are not making champs. At 9, you got Legion. 10, you've got the Thieves. 11, you have the Royal Ravens. And at 12, you've got Minnesota Rocker.
I think
with 0 points.
Yeah. I think this top 4, I think it's going to, I could even say the top 5 is kind of going to stay the same all season, in my opinion.
Probably.
You might see the Surge jump up into the 5. They're going to go in and out. I think between Toronto and Surge, possibly even the Subliners, I think Optic's going to move it up to 3, and I think the top 3 for the most of the season will stay Miami, Atlanta, and Optic. I think 3 through 6 will rotate between Subliners, Toronto, and Surge all season.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It's still really early.
The bottom 4,
we don't.
I think only 2 of those will stay the same. I think the middle of the pack is going to move up. It's going to go all over the place. But
Ravens and the Thieves?
No, I think Minnesota and the Ravens will probably stay at the bottom most of the season.
Okay.
I think between Thieves, Legion, Breach, Gorillas, and even Surge, they could be thrown in there. Surge is one of those on the fence. They're either going to be good or bad, or
They
are they're
they
going to be
they,
either
they
good or
looked
mid tier.
they looked
But
really good week 1, and then week 2.
and then when they played higher rank competition, you know,
Right.
but who knows? Like we said, it was only week 2, but I
Right.
think I think 6 through 10 is going to stay up in the air.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I definitely see the Ravens and Rockers staying at the bottom
I do too.
for sure. All right. Day 1 was you had first matchup was the Heretics versus what the hell?
That was Legion, right?
Was it Legion?
Yeah. Heretics
Yeah.
versus Legion.
Yeah, it was Heretics versus Legion. Then you had Breach versus the Thieves. And then you had Optic versus the Surge. You got Heretics walking away with a 3-1 victory over Legion.
I actually thought that was this match. Because the first round, or I mean the first match, Legion handed it to Miami in Hardpoint.
Right.
They beat him by almost 100. So I was like, oh whoa, and then Heretics did what they do.
Mhm.
So, but I I think maybe Hardpoint might be their Achilles.
Yeah.
Um, because even the Hardpoint they beat him and they only beat him by 40.
Right.
They didn't blow him out.
Mm-mm.
So and then I think the matches they are losing are I don't think they're losing S&D or control. I think it's the hard point that's going to get them this year, which is bad because a lot of the top teams that's a lot of their good games
Right.
is hard point.
Right. Yeah, it was. I mean, I have a lot of questions for Legion because they on paper they look so good, but then when they get matched up against these teams that at least on paper they're even, they just get outclassed.
And it could be just of them trying to get into the routine of things with each other. They're
Possibly.
a new team. They could just be working on that together. If they're still working on that, which is a good sign because they're not losing horribly. I mean, they're losing, but they're not losing horribly, which is a good
Right.
sign if they're trying to figure it out together.
Right. All right. Next matchup. Breach lose to the Thieves 3-0. This was probably the only time that the Thieves actually looked comfortable and in complete control. Besides the start of that search match, they go 0-4, but then turn around and win it 6-4.
No, they played really good.
Yeah, they played really well, but I mean overall,
I
that's the only matchup I can say that they were in complete control.
and that's another thing. Just like Vegas, they could still be trying to figure it out.
Right. Because I mean,
Like
I don't.
they're still a new team too.
Because the only person I think, the only two people that have played with each other is Afro and Cammy.
Yeah.
So they're
Those
somewhat
teams brand
familiar with
new.
each other, but the rest they're still trying to get familiarized with each other's game.
Mm-hmm.
It's still
And
we still got a lot in the season, but I'm
and it's not
expecting
like
more.
it's not like they had 2 people or 3 people there and they just brought somebody in new. Every single one of them are new to
Right.
that team.
Right.
And it's
And
still early in the season.
he's got the same two
They're-
coaches, so they're
And we
trying to
saw
figure
in
out
and
everything.
Boston's not a bad team.
No.
So for them to, I
How
think this
how
early
they-
season they're gonna have some ups and downs,
right.
but I think they're gonna start getting it together.
I don't know how you have Boston over the Thieves in the rankings because the Thieves 3-0'd them. Granted, the two losses that the Thieves have, or 2 out of the 3 losses that they have,
I think
they were
it's
swept.
by-
But
It's match count. It's map counts. Because Breach are 6 and 9, and Thieves are 4 and 9.
Oh, that's retarded.
Yeah, I think like tiebreaker goes to map counts. So Breach has 6 map wins and Thieves only have 4.
Weird.
If that makes sense, it's like a tiebreaker. I think that's how they do it.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that's how they do that.
Because they've got more map wins. They're the better team. I don't agree with that, but okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, I understand. I just don't agree with their logic. Next match, Optic 3-1 the Seattle Surge. This one started off kind of shaky. Y'all were down by a hefty amount of points.
It did.
But that
they were down by a
comeback
lot,
was comeback was fucking real.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that comeback.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like Optic's downfall again this year is control.
Yeah.
Not
I'll
too
struggle.
concerned about that because if we're losing controls, cool. Because we're smoking. You saw how fast they came back and fucking hard point.
When it comes to search, that's what matters the most in champs. When it comes to champs,
Yeah.
control really isn't that big of a deal because if you make it to any finals matchup, you're only going to play control maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
You're going to play the other two 3 to 4 times or three times
They're
each.
solid in hard point, and I think they're probably one of the best S&D teams.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so I'm not too concerned that they're bad in control. They're great in hard point and they're great in search. Those are the maps you play the most.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with them not being.
And
they're not horrible in control. They're just
it's the same
weak point
throughout the regular season. You only play control once in a 5 games in a 5 map series. You play hard point and search twice.
Yeah. And you'd prefer your weak map to be something you only have to play. Your weak point to be something you play once. Exactly. As for the Heretics, where their weak point is hard point, that's not good.
And it's not like they're getting blown out on controls.
Every single they lost that
fight.
control 3. They lost that control 3-1. But 2 of those matches could have gone either way. They almost won 2 of them. Right. You know, they weren't blowouts. It was close, but they lost them.
Yeah, it was hands down. Worrying about control right now would be more of a detriment to Optic than just focusing on continuing to climb because the season it's still way too early.
And with Optic, I was really worried about having that much star power on the same team.
Right.
But it seems like they're.
But they don't have big egos.
That's what I'm saying. Do. Like I that was what I was worried about. I was you
don't have a Clayster.
But they seem like they get along really well, and it seems like Pred and Dashi are kind of taking that support role and letting Shotzi and Kenny GL. They're taking over the games, which is cool because I think Kenny and Shotzi mindset wise go into it the same.
Mm-hmm.
Even Shotzi said that he kind of lets Kenny lead for the most part. I think S&D is where Shotzi leads because that's Shotzi's game, and I think the respawn is where Kenny controls.
Yeah.
So I like how they're doing it, and it right now it seems to be working.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact they brought in Karma.
What he's a
coach.
Okay.
Him and JP are coaching.
Okay, cool. Day 2. We've got the first matchup was the Heretics. They 3-1 the Rocker. The second match was a sweep of the Legion. They lose to the Subliners. Third matchup, the FaZe beat the Surge 3-1. In the last matchup, the Ultra sweep the Carolina Ravens. We've already talked about the Heretics, Legion, and Surge from day 1. I'm going to focus most of mine on the teams that we really didn't hear too much about. First off, I'm going to start off with the Subliners. There's been a rumor, and we're going to stick with that. It's just a rumor. Nothing has been confirmed. There's been a rumor that one of Sib's thumbs, is causing him discomfort when he puts pressure on it. This is not confirmed, so we're going to take it with a grain of salt.
We're trying to see if we can get it confirmed.
That's what we've been trying to all week. We haven't been able to.
We haven't got no confirmations
from the team or himself. So
if that's true, though, that's a huge hit.
Right, that is a huge hit. But the subliners, they look like they're gonna remain one of those top teams this year. They kept everyone, and that one player they only brought in Sib from Seattle from last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the year goes, and maybe we might find out. During the start of week 3
by the weekend.
Yeah, we should know probably by tomorrow or Saturday if anything was going on with Sib's thumb. So yeah. With that going said, I mean,
I really hope not, because I like Sib. I think he's a great player. I really hope it's nothing.
Right.
Maybe a little strain he has, nothing serious. I'm hoping that's what it is. Because we saw with Illy that cost him almost a year and a half.
Uh-huh. I mean, if you think about it,
if it is true at all.
I mean, if you think about it, a thumb injury for a professional COD player,
it's like breaking your leg in the NFL.
Yeah, that's career threatening. Yeah. Like you need your thumbs because, I mean, granted, I wish this was an option to where they can choose between mouse and keyboard and controller, but the COD League, you're forced to play with a controller. That's just their rules. Yeah. And it is what it is. Like I could really never be a Call of Duty professional player because I'm ass on controller, and I would rather play on mouse and keyboard. So.
Yeah, I really hope it's only a rumor and it's not true, because that would really suck.
Yeah, that would hurt New York's chances. Like, I see them as a top 5 team with their current roster.
It would really. They don't have
Sib.
Yeah,
bro, they might be a bottom. They might be a maybe 6th, 7th, 8th best team in the league.
Yeah, and Sib. For Sib too, because Sib's been grinding, and to see him have to miss, especially now he's on a real strong contending team.
Mm-hmm.
Like that really sucks, because I think he deserves at least one championship.
Right. FaZe, they continue to look as good as always. It seems like them getting Draza was like them discovering gold for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really see that much of a weakness for FaZe. I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, my team took them to the wire in every matchup. Even though they swept us, it was competitive. So you can compete against this team, but if you make a mistake, one slip up, screwed.
FaZe's thing is S&D. They're like, there's sometimes they play S&D amazing, and then a lot of time, and then some.
That's their question mark, S&D.
Yeah. Because I think that's most of their. I think that's their losses this year. I know Surge beat them in S&D.
Yeah, that was the one map that the Surge beat them on, was S&D, because they haven't lost a match.
That's always been FaZe thing for some reason, even last year.
I mean, it's early. It's always early in the season, or it's they struggle early, they figure it out middle half of the season, and then they start to fall off late half of the season. That's exactly what happened to them last year.
Yep.
So I don't.
If they can figure that out, they'll be great.
Right. I mean, regardless, they're always going to be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess we could talk about these two teams together, the Ravens and the Rocker.
They're going to be the first 2 teams to have roster changes.
They're hot garbage.
They're not doing good.
I mean, if you watch the Ultra matchup, did you see what the clip that they showed of Clayster?
Mm-hmm. He was not happy.
He was pissed.
Got a Rex. I think didn't he get like almost pretty? Bro, he was like double negative.
Mm-hmm.
He's bro, what? What is? I don't know what this team is.
Right, and like it's something has to give for both these teams.
It seems like Clayster's playing good.
Mm-hmm.
Clayster plays good all the time.
Right.
Um, I don't think they put the right team around him. Honestly,
Right. I don't know if Clay if he had anything to do with the other players that they signed, but it's obvious that they're building the team around him.
yeah, but
It's
they didn't do a
obvious.
good job of that.
No. Um, one thing that we probably won't get too much information on, but Scrap is most likely going to get fined this week.
What did I miss?
Because after they swept the Ravens, he threw up the double birds to his camera.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get fined. Don't him and Clayster have beef?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, yeah, he's definitely getting fined. But no, they like Gonorex, Gwen, Real. I just don't think. I don't. Something's gonna have to switch there. Gonorex looked bad.
Yeah, it was. The Ravens altogether looked bad.
They just
Like, granted, they had their miraculous reverse sweep in week 1, but
everybody's gonna get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think. Like I said, Royal Ravens and Rocker are gonna stay at the bottom unless they do some major upgrading.
Oh yeah. All right, day 3. A lot of the same teams that we've already discussed, but all were sweeps.
Yep.
Every last one of the matchups on Sunday were a sweep, was 3-0. Optic 3-0 the Ravens. Of course, the Ravens continue to struggle. The Gorillas sweep the Thieves. For some reason, the Thieves continue to struggle against their counterpart in Los Angeles. Boston Breach sweep Ultra. That was the biggest surprise of the week.
Yeah.
Boston sweeps Ultra.
And it wasn't like a close sweep.
No, they dominated that game.
They smoked Ultra.
They destroyed them.
Boston Breach may be a good team after all, because we know Toronto's good.
Capsule went off. Dude, it was Slasher went off. Man, it was the whole team. Parista went off.
When you have Slasher and Parista together, like those two alone, your team's gonna be good. Mm-hmm. Those two are. Slasher's a fucking phenomenal leader.
Yeah. What? And then it's Capsule and Snoopy.
Yeah. Snoopy's playing out of
Snoopy went off in the Search and Destroy.
Bro, I think that team's gonna turn around, because any team Slasher plays with, they get good. I think Slasher is one of those teammates. He makes his players better.
Right.
He's not gonna go be the best player on the team. Don't get me wrong, he's good as fuck.
But he's consistent.
He knows how to make his teammates better.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. Like that's why I was surprised when FaZe got rid of him. Really,
him and Parisa being those veterans on that team.
That was a smart move, and
oh yes,
Austin did amazing with that. Because they were able to bring in those two veterans, mm-hmm. and have those 2 young guys with them.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what?
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept the same roster going into the next season.
I don't
to be honest.
Especially if Capsule and Snoopy keep playing like they did this week, mm-hmm. they'll be a top 5 team, calling it.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like we said, the Thieves, they might have a 1-3 record right now, or their map count might be 4-9 or whatever. Yeah, they're 1-3, 4-9 map count. In their series count, they're 1-3. But in all of their matches, besides this last one against the Gorillas, they could easily be 3-1.
Yeah, easily.
So, I mean, it's still it's still a new team. So,
LA,
or at least a new roster.
Bottom, that's gonna change.
Yeah,
that's definitely gonna change.
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the biggest thing for Thieves fans this year is to not.
You got to be patient.
Yeah, it's not to overlook the standings right now this early in the season because the season doesn't end until June.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've got a long
This
season
first
ahead of
major,
us.
this first major, they may not be the best, but I think even going into that land, they may. I
Shit,
mean,
we
the
might be
last
better.
half
We
of
might
this,
be one of those teams better on land.
yeah, and going into the last half, I mean, it's only week 2. Was it 5 weeks of qualifiers?
Yeah, this week we've got 5, I think. It's
Yeah,
either
so
5 or 4 this week.
so they could literally turn it around in these next 3 weeks and go to land being in the top 6 because they're not losing because of skill issue. They're literally losing because of inexperience as a team.
Yeah.
That's it. I like
Mhm.
every single one of them players. And I remember when the roster was getting leaked and we talked about it. I thought Joe DeCeves was a
I
great
had
pickup.
question marks. I had
And I
huge
thought
question marks.
and Joe DeCeves, I think he was worth it. I think they got a solid roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cammy, Afro, Joe DeCeves, and then my
Ghosty.
man Ghosty. I love
Ghosty.
Ghosty.
That's who the team is built around. I
Yeah.
mean, if you looked at
And
their reveal, they wouldn't have hyped up his
and
reveal.
and Ghosty, what Ghosty has for him is the franchise he played for last year. He learned a lot, and he said that.
Oh,
Just as
definitely.
being a leader, he learned a lot, and he went into Optic as basically he was a rookie,
Hmm.
and he was IGLing. They let him. They gave him reins. Look, and I think he learned a lot from that. Especially, you got to think you got Scump there. You know you're gonna ask that motherfucker for some advice.
Mm-hmm.
You got methods, Carm, all them guys are there. You're gonna ask for advice. You're gonna learn some things.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
So I think roster wise, I think they're good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll start.
Yeah, it should come together. I mean, the
It sucks at
how they
first.
performed how they performed against Boston and how they performed against FaZe. I mean, that's the team that that we're expecting to see. But with it being so early, I mean, I would like to see that. I would like to see them
glimmers of
firing
hope.
off on all cylinders to start the season. But in every sport, that's very rare for every team to do that. So I mean, there's going to be some. You can start off hot, but I would rather start off slow and end the season hot. So
Yeah. And
I mean,
they
that's
did
how
it
we
this time.
won champs for Vanguard. We
They
started off
played
slow,
shit at the beginning of that season.
played like shit at the beginning of the season, and I was talking shit about the team the entire year. And then the last 3 majors, we were the best team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
So
definitely and you can definitely see glimmers in there of like
oh,
these
definitely,
guys are gonna be fucking good.
yeah, sure. We're definitely gonna compete.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up week 2 qualifier matchups, the results and the standings. Call of Duty didn't post any of their matchups, so I don't have any images for you guys this week for week 3, but we're just going to discuss the week 3 matchups because I have them up on my computer. Starting off our week 3 matchups going into the New Year's. So I'll go ahead and say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and a Happy Holidays from me and Babs and our families to yours.
Definitely.
Friday, January 12th is week 3, day 1. You've got Atlanta Thieves versus the LA Gorillas to start off, Toronto versus Seattle, and then to wrap up day 1, you've got the Subliners versus Rocker. Day 2 on the 13th, the Surge versus the Miami Heretics. That's going to be a really good matchup to start the day. LA Gorillas versus the Breach for the matchup for the second. The Thieves versus the Ultra is the third matchup. That's going to be interesting. And to wrap up the day, Saturday, the Legion versus Optic. That's going to be a good matchup. Expecting Optic to win that handedly. Sunday to wrap up week 1, or to wrap up week 1, day 3. Sunday it's FaZe versus Legion to start the day. Then you've got Ravens versus Rocker for the second matchup. Third matchup. These two franchises seem to start becoming pretty big rivals. The Thieves versus Subliners. The last matchup for Sunday, Heretics versus the Boston Breach. We finally have a week where the Heretics are on primetime. Well, they've got the primetime spot, the late game. So it's going to be interesting to see them Sunday. And this is the first Sunday we've got 4 matches. So before, there's 4 matches Sunday. Yep. So week 1 or week 3 is going to be very interesting to see how the standings shape up. You got a lot of good teams going against each other.
I just realized that means no COD for 2 weeks. 3 weeks. It don't come back till the 13th or the 12th.
Yep, because of the holidays and everything. So they're giving us some time off. So with that being said, he pretty much just broke the news. The next 2 weeks after this episode, there will not be any episodes. So
we'll do one right before next week. That week.
Yeah. We could do one right before
predictions, any news that's updated and everything like that.
Yeah, we'll do a short thing to maybe give our predictions, maybe, and if there's any updates about the SIB rumor or if there's any other injuries that might happen over the holiday break.
Yeah, it just dawned on me there's no games this weekend. I'm like, oh shit.
I didn't even think about that.
I just dawned on me. I was like, wait, that's the 12th. Yeah, because I was like, oh, we should definitely hear something before this weekend because they play this weekend, but they don't play this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's nope.
Give a couple week break.
Yep. So it's gonna be there's no COD for these next few weekends. So if you don't watch our other series, or if you're not any other sports fans, then we hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas and a great New Year's.
And we'll be back on the 11th with the COD podcast.
Yes, we'll be back on the 11th with episode. We'll say episode 2.5 or 3, depending on how much information we have.
Yeah, how much we got to talk about.
So we will see you guys January 11th of 2024, Thursday, 9 a.m. Have a great Christmas and a great New Year's.
Yes.
Bye.
Later.